MMA Rants and Raves, Chris Weidman versus Lyoto Machida for the UFC Middleweight Championship of the World. Guys, let's talk about this fight. You know something? I'm disappointed that Vitor Belfort is not fighting Chris Weidman. After all, Vitor Belfort is the hottest fighter in the UFC right now. 3 straight early knockouts against top guys, especially against Dan Henderson. I mean, who would have thought that's possible? And what's also remarkable is that he's using his legs as a primary weapon. I mean, here's a guy who's known for his hands, his really powerful, quick hands, the explosion that he has in fights, and now he's using his legs as his primary weapon. So that's very impressive. But what better replacement than Lyoto Machida? I mean, Lyoto Machida has looked fantastic at middleweight. And it's not like he had to step down to middleweight. You know, usually you see guys stepping down because things are not going their way in their weight class. But Machida was doing well at light heavyweight. I mean, his last fight was against Phil Davis, a fight that was very close, a fight that many people thought he won. So it's not like he had to step down. So when he did step down, people were wondering how well he would do. And he's looked fantastic. In his first fight, he fought Mark Munoz, a really tough guy. Got an early knockout. And then he faced an elite Gegard Mousasi and got a decision victory. So questions about how he would do at middleweight have been answered. Now, as far as Machida's chances in this fight, he has to do what he's always done. He has to use his quickness, be elusive, use his accuracy, his counter-striking, and if he can avoid getting hit with anything serious, he has a chance in this fight. Now, as far as Chris Weidman needs to be aggressive, and he has to use his well-rounded skills. His wrestling, his jiu-jitsu, and, of course, he has power. So it's not like he has to use that. He already has power. We know that. Now, what Machida really has to do is he has to avoid the clinch. I think a dangerous position for Machida to be in is in the clinch with Chris Weidman, because Chris Weidman is one of the best wrestlers in the UFC. Now, the question is, can Machida stop Chris Weidman's takedowns? And also, can he avoid getting hit with something big? If you look at Machida's past fights, you have to look at recovery time. When he's been hit hard in past fights and got hurt, he hasn't been able to recover. And Chris Weidman has big, explosive power. We've seen that. A lot of his victories are early round knockouts. I mean, this guy is a juggernaut. He has tremendous power, his nasty elbows, and the other thing he has is vicious ground and pound. I mean, I remember the fight against Anderson Silva. My goodness, there was a point when he had Anderson Silva down and he was raining down really vicious ground and pound. And it looked like the fight was going to be stopped right there. I mean, you know, that's how aggressive he is on top. You don't want to be under this guy. And it's difficult not to have that happen because he's such a good wrestler. So, you know, that's the key. Machida has to stay out of the clinch. I mean, this guy is just way too dangerous. He's got world-class grappling. Now, as far as I see the fight going, I just don't see how Machida can stop this guy's takedowns. I haven't seen anyone that's been able to stop this guy's takedowns throughout a fight. And I don't see Machida being able to stop his takedowns. Because if you look at Machida's fights in the past, when he faced good wrestlers, he's been taken down. And Chris Weidman is one of the best wrestlers in the UFC. He has really good wrestling. And the other thing is, if he gets Machida to the ground, what is Machida going to do as far as his defense? I mean, the guy has one of the most nastiest ground and pound in the UFC, and at the same time, he has great jiu-jitsu. I mean, I remember when he fought Anderson Silva. When Anderson Silva was down, he was trying to get a knee bar. I mean, that's how active he is on the ground. He doesn't just cover guys up and control them, move around and guard. He actively looks for submissions. He's very opportunistic. So it's difficult to defend against a guy if you don't know what's coming. Is it ground and pound that's coming? Is it a submission that's coming? So it's difficult if you're trying to defend yourself against one thing, something else can be coming. So it's a bad position to be in. And that's where Weidman is really dangerous. And he's also dangerous on his feet. Look what he's done there. So I'm going to make a prediction in this fight. I got Chris Weidman to win this fight. And as far as Chris Weidman is concerned, he may very well be on the road to a long title run. I mean, this guy has been so dominant. And the other thing is, he's fighting guys and he's making fights look easy. I mean, that's what's scary about this guy. And he just looks like he's on another level. He's making things look easy. He's so calm and relaxed out there. And he's so confident in his skills. And if you look at his past fights, you could just see it. He's been so dominant, undefeated. It's just very hard to imagine anyone that is a serious threat to Chris Weidman right now. So I would like to know what you think about the fight. Please leave your comments. Please subscribe. Please like up this video. And thank you for tuning in.